Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We caught Deb still in adjusting the music stand mode.
Well, you know.
It is really great to be here, be with you, to welcome Shabbat. It is raining in strange ways outside. Oh, it is raining and then not raining, raining and then not raining, but we are here in the sanctuary and at home, ready to welcome another hour or multiple hours of shalom, of peace and wholeness, of Shabbat. And so let us take a moment to breathe, to take a deep breath in and release. And take another breath in and think about all that held you down on this past week, that which frustrated you, that which made you angry. Think about it for a moment. And then breathe out and release all of that which was hard. And with this last breath, breathe in deeply the sweetness, the beauty, the peace that is Shabbat. And release. Now we move into opening song, which is Hine Matov, found on page 10. It is our new Hine Matov, if I'm correct.
Yes, so this one is by Ilana Arian. And if you were at last week's Kol Ami Shabbat, or either virtually or in person, then you heard it. So I thought it would be fun to sing it again while we still kind of know it, so that we can reinforce it. Here we go. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Just like that. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom aleichem, shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum again. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
How good it is for us to be together and for us to turn to lighting our Shabbat candles and offering Kiddush. Yesterday, our bulletin, if you looked in your email, you received a bulletin. And if you had time to read it, which is a lot to ask, you may have noticed that Deb and I co-wrote for the first time an article together welcoming for two reasons. There are two things happening. One, for 2 years, we've not had a regular Bima honor for candles and Kiddush. So we are finally feeling at the point in the pandemic that this can now return. So in the bulletin, you'll find a link to sign up for Bima honors for candles and Kiddush. We do hope that people will be able to feel comfortable signing up for Bima honors. Secondly, many of you really found a silver lining, which was the beautiful ritual of lighting your Shabbat candles at home. And we don't want that to end. So if you are here and you love lighting your Shabbat candles, you will find in the sanctuary a table of candles. And while we are lighting our Shabbat candles on the bima, you can have an opportunity to also light Shabbat candles. So we're bringing together those two beautiful rituals in the opportunity and still being in this space. So I'd like to invite Susan Merdler to come forward to lead us in our Shabbat candles and offering the Kiddush on page 3. And I need a microphone for Susan. No, because then they won't hear you on Zoom.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu, lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat.
Page 4.
The heaven and earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God stopped on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on that day God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, barei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodecha, be'ava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Thank you, Susan. We continue with our opening reading, which is not found in your prayer book. It is a poem by Alden Salovey, a contemporary liturgist and psalmist. Light overflowing. The light in me sees the light in you is the light of God. O brilliance, sparkling from your eyes, radiating from your chest. O wonder, shining around us, shimmering with amazement. O glory, overflowing my heart, touching your soul. The light of God sees the light in you is the light in me. We continue with the Baruch Hu, the call to worship. It is found on page 28. We rise in body or in spirit.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam vahed.
Page 31, Mari Varavim, we read together in the English. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We continue with Shema, the watchword of our faith, page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha vedibata bam beshivdecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot beinenecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 40. Michamocha is our song of freedom. This Shabbat, as I think about Michamocha and our song of freedom, I think not necessarily about that moment that they're celebrating, but about how hard the journey was to get to that moment of celebration. And I think about the walk across the Red Sea and the faith and the belief it took to cross the Red Sea. And so as we sing Michamocha, let us have some of that strength and that faith to cross to the other side.
Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedar ba'kodesh, Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot, osef eleh, Nora tehilot, osef eleh, Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, Mokea lifnei Moshe uMiriam, ze Elianu ve'amru, ze Elianu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. La 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 la.
Hashkivenu can be found on page 42. Deb, are we doing the Hashkivenu where they will sing along or not?
Oh yes, this is the one we sing along, and the Hebrew words are in your book,
Okay.
and the English words most of you know by heart.
Okay. So Hashkivenu is our evening prayer. It offers us peace and comfort when the evening is a little scary or when times are not so easy. And so as we turn to page 42, we join in asking for God to provide for each of us a Sukkot Shalom.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Vishamru is a celebration, a reminder that we have a gift, the opportunity to be here and celebrate Shabbat every week, to take that step back, to review, recollect our thoughts and our feelings, and continue forward. And so we sing Vishamru, page 44.
Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם, ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. אותי לעולם.
Page 46, we turn to the tefillah. First, we kind of introduce the tefillah, and then on page 48, 50, and 52, the first the first three prayers. The first prayer on page 48 is the Avot V'Imahot, remembering that we stand upon the shoulders of our forefathers and foremothers. And then the Givurot on page 50, remembering God's strength. And then page 52, the Kiddushah, the sanctity of this day. We will chant straight through these prayers. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agite hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava. Melech Hozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech meimit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukedoshim b'chol yom yehallelu selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. On page 60, Shalom Rav. Shalom, of course, means peace. It also comes from the word wholeness. So we ask for a great peace, a great wholeness as we sing together.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam.
Tasim leolam, tasim leolam.
The word Rav means great. It also means abundant. And so this evening, we have an abundant blessing in our congregation. First of all, Flossie and Dennis Mitchell are here in this space, which has not happened since the pandemic. It is also their 61st wedding anniversary. And so, which is extraordinary. And so, with apologies for those of you at home, I'm going to go and stand next to them and offer a wedding blessing rather than ask them to come up to me, because I think after 61 years, I should go to them. Kor Ahava, O God, divine source of blessing, we turn to you in gratitude for the love, the strength, and the devotion that has preserved this couple and permitted them to reach this sacred hour of fulfillment, the occasion of their 61st anniversary of marriage. 61 years ago, you stood in God's presence, surrounded by family and and you have indeed been mindful of your vows. It's not working very well. Oh, goodness. Okay. Switch in the middle of a blessing. Okay. Many and varied have been your experiences since that day. Many have been the mingled occasions of victory and defeat, of fulfillment and disappointment. And yet, in joy and trial alike, oh God, you have been with them. And so we ask your blessings, oh God, on Flossie and Dennis, who have made their way along life's paths these years. We rejoice in the love you have for each other and the caring attention you give to family and friends. May the meaning of their journey be filled with joy, with satisfaction. May their loving children and grandchildren continue to add to their fulfillment. And so may your blessings rest upon Flossie and Dennis. May their achievements and their memories always inspire them. May they go from strength to strength, from joy to joy. God be with them in health and happiness, and God be with them always. Amen.
Amen.
And let us sing Shehechianu together.
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu vekimanu vehigianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu vekimanu vehigianu lazman hazeh.
Flossie and Dennis, Mazel Tov. How grateful we are that you are always with us on Zoom and now with us this evening, and how grateful we are for each of you and what you bring to this community. We also know that as we celebrate as we celebrate love and as we celebrate blessings, we also recognize that there are many who are not celebrating, many who are struggling in our community. And so we turn to our prayer for healing. We turn to the Misha Berach found in the middle of page 253. And We think of those who are struggling by lifting up the names of those who have physical illness, mental illness, spiritual struggle, whether in the chat or here in the sanctuary. If you are here and my hand passes over as my hand passes over the congregation, please share aloud the names of loved ones.
Jane and Michael.
We join together in healing prayer.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu, makor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We take a moment for silent prayer and reflection.
Adonai Tzuri Vekali.
Abortion access, reproductive freedom. This shouldn't be a sermon topic. Preaching about reproductive choices is uncomfortable. Reproductive decisions are personal and private. They are medical decisions. When and if families seek spiritual guidance in deciding to grow or not grow their family is a private and pastoral concern. Also, there's so much to learn. The topic of abortion and reproductive freedom is so complicated, and our feelings are so deep. And we also know this. For decades, those working to restrict or completely ban abortion access have grown louder and more powerful. When the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last week, the states regained control of abortion access. And because of those voices, all platforms in which we can educate, strengthen, inspire, and yes, even conspire to regain abortion access and reproductive freedoms are necessary. Within hours of the Dobbs v. Jackson decision, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost filed an emergency motion in federal court to dissolve an injunction against the so-called heartbeat bill. This motion was granted. At this moment, how the law will be enforced is still very much in question. However, the law stands. An abortion at 6 weeks, an abortion past 6 weeks, is a 5th-degree felony. Why 6 weeks? At 6 weeks, an embryo has implanted and has a neural tube, and the blood vessel that will develop into the heart begins pulsing. This pulsing, or quote, heartbeat, is the basis for the emotional appeal of these bills. But at this early stage, the embryo is still in the process of differentiating organs and won't be classified as a fetus until about a month later. The pulsing is a false claim that the fetus has a heartbeat and is therefore living. 6-week abortion bans have the goal, I believe, of legislating the definition of personhood. However, Judaism is at odds with this belief. Judaism teaches that the life of the fetus is not considered viable until it emerges from the womb and takes a breath. Further, the life of the mother takes precedence over the life of the fetus. The core text from our understanding of personhood comes from the book of Exodus, chapter 21, in which we read this text. When 2 men fight, and one of them pushes a pregnant woman and a miscarriage results, but no other damage ensues, the one responsible shall be fined according as the woman's husband may exact from him. But if other damage ensues, the penalty shall be life for life. This is a tough text. This is why a sermon on reproductive freedom is a little bit difficult. In other words, if the fetus perishes, the penalty for the loss of the pregnancy is in the form of financial damages. If the mother dies, the phrase other damage, the penalty becomes murder. Please don't hear this as a treating of the fetus or the pregnancy lightly. The nuances of these weighty decisions around abortion are debated and argued within the Jewish community at length. Judaism is not casual about how we treat our bodies. Our bodies are made in the image of God, and we are to recognize and treat them as such. This is why the life of the mother is taken so seriously, why the fetal life, which is still potential life, is weighed in the balance. Judaism not only permits abortion in some cases, it also at times requires it to preserve the life and health of the mother. It is our obligation, as Rabbi David Stern wrote, to focus on the life, health, and agency of the mother, not on the life, health, and agency of the fetus. The most important lesson that we carry with us is that the mother's life takes precedence over that of the fetus. In a responsa, which is literature from contemporary expert rabbinic scholars, Rabbi Mark Wachowski wrote, "If bringing a pregnancy to term would involve significant risk to the mother's life or health, including her mental, psychological, and emotional well-being, she has valid grounds to make the decision for abortion. Laws and regulations denying abortion access place harmful limits on necessary health care for too many. Health care for everyone at all times is a human right and a particularly important Jewish value." Our philosophical and religious viewpoints largely determine our beliefs, defining life or personhood for each individual, and different religions believe that human life begins at different stages of development. We see this very clearly. This is why we must continue to weave deeper into the fabric of our country's narrative the importance of freedom of religion. Laws denying abortion access are directly at odds with our ability to exercise our freedom of religion. I'm guessing that some of you are hoping that I will outline a path forward towards restoring abortion access. I'm grateful for those who started constructing this new path. In the last week, the ACLU and Planned Parenthood have filed suit in the Ohio Supreme Court, stating that the 6-week abortion ban is a violation of the free exercise of religion. RAC Ohio, the Religious Action Center of Ohio, is exploring joining Planned Parenthood and the ACLU in being part of a religious leader's amicus brief to support the lawsuit, asking clergy from across Ohio to sign. National Council of Jewish Women convened a repro committee to survey the laws being introduced to the Senate and House floors. Last week, the city of Lakewood, Ohio, passed a resolution in a special meeting that asked state leaders to allow abortions in Ohio. Staff members from Pro-Choice Ohio were there. These examples are just 3. So much more happened last week in Ohio, but to restore abortion access will be a long, hard journey on an unclear path. We will walk this path together. I want to end, or try to end, with a moment of hope or optimism. In this week's Torah portion, Korach has staged a rebellion against Moses and Aaron. As the scene unfolds, Korach and his followers are instructed to offer incense in their fire pans and lift it up to God. This would be a test to see the merit of the rebellion. The rebels are consumed by fire. They failed the test. Following their deaths, God makes an odd demand. God directs the Israelites to take these fire pans and hammer them into sheets. The sheets become plating for the altar on the tabernacle. The very pans that were used to foment rebellion and beheld death now beautify the altar. I feel a connection with this story. We too are experiencing fire pans of unjust political movement. May we too experience instead beauty and power in the transformation of these fire pans. May we pound the fire pans causing our pain into a beautiful expanse. May they become the fire pans of our freedom. Amen.
From where we stand, we feel frozen, fragile minds, filled with voices, asking how we can heal what's broken. Will we change or will we watch? Close your eyes, let it fester. All the pain, all the questions of when we'll break or when they'll listen. Will we change or will we watch? But I'll be the change I want to see, 'cause I believe we're closer than we think. So let it out. Our love's the final piece. Our path is not too dark if we are one. How can we keep on living, knowing that we know nothing of how they'll plan to end this suffering? Won't they finally heed our call? But I'll be the change I want to see, 'cause I believe we're closer than we think. So let it out. Our love's the final piece. Our path is not too dark if we are one. But I'll be the change I want to see, 'cause I believe we're closer than we think. So let it out. Our love's the final piece. Our path is not too dark if we are one. Our path is not too dark if we are one.
Thank you. Aleinu is found on page 283. We rise in body or in spirit. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
Va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad.
Please be seated. We continue now with our time of remembering. Our memorial meditation can be found on page 294. That might be wrong. 291, I think. There are stars up above, so far away. We only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. On this Shabbat, we remember in Shloshim, in the first month since their death, Constance Gordon. And we mark the yardzites, the anniversaries that fall of death that fall on this Shabbat. James Hertz Aarons, Louis J. Affelder, Harry Blonder, Grace G. Buxbaum, Hazel Haas Colbert, Timothy J. Curtis, Henry William Dietz, Kurt Lang Frankel, Blanche Friedman, Phyllis Goldston, Miriam Scheer Hamburger, Harold S. Heller, Pearl Hollander, Howard Klein, William Bill Koner, Anne H. Kreese, Albert Kronheim, William D. Mendelson, Maurice B. Newman, Natalie J. Perlmutter, Nathan Plen, Sally Rosenberg, Nathan Shagrin, Adele Shapiro, Leo S. Siegel, Rabbi Myron Silverman, Alma Leslie Stern, Emmanuel R. Steele, Walter M. Weil, Paul David Wurzberger. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Please rise in body or in spirit. Yidgadal v'yidkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye techol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yit hadar, v'yit haleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudasha berechu, le'elal min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom bimromav, huya asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, V'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, Amen. Please be seated. I'd like to invite Tessa Gable to come forward. She is our co-treasurer to offer a few words of announcement and greeting.
Rabbi Deb, thank you for such a beautiful service. And thank you very much to the dedicated STKA staff, volunteer, and leadership. It's time again for our our annual Open Doors membership campaign. Everyone should have received their personalized information in the mail. I'd like to say thank you as soon as you can for returning your pledges and for your continued support of STKA. STKA Fairmont Temple and the Rape Crisis Center are partnering to provide you with a workshop to recognize sexual trauma. The dates are July 11th and August 23rd. That's a Monday and a Tuesday, and the specific times and locations can be found in the Temple Times, the bulletin, or the website. Everyone is welcome to attend, and registration is necessary. Our summer gatherings are going strong. If you're interested in farmers markets, hiking, or shameless plug, outdoor yoga, we had a beautiful night last night. Please contact the office or the website, or visit our website for more information and to register. It is really great to see everybody come out in the weather today, and we will attempt to have services outside, weather permitting, and continuing to comply with the CDC guidelines on the masking requirements. and which is posted on our front door. And of course, the vaccination and policy is ongoing. I want to wish everybody a safe and happy 4th of July, and just to remind everybody that the offices will be closed here at Temple on Monday. Shabbat Shalom.
We join now in our closing song. Thank you, Tessa. We join now in our closing song, Adon Olam, page 321.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Le'et Nasa B'chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kiklot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Hayah Ve'hu Hove Ve'hu Yiyeh Betifara Ve'hu Echad Ve'ein Sheni Lehamshilo Lehachbira Beli Reshit Beli Tachlit Ve'lo Haoz Ve'hamisra Ve'hu Eli Ve'chai Goali Ve'tzor Chevli Ve'etzara Ve'hu Nisi Umanos Li Menat Kosi Ve'yom Ekra Be'yado Hafkid Ruchi Be'eti Shan Ve'hayira Ve'im Ruchi Geviati Adonai Li Ve'lo
Please rise in body or in spirit for our closing benediction.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha vichuneka.
May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom ve'yasem lecha shalom.
May God lift up each one of us and bring us shalom, peace, and wholeness. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Let's say
Amen.
motzi. And then challah will be available for those of us in the sanctuary. Yeah, out there.
Yes. Here we go. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. V'te'avon.
V'te'avon, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.